Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. Today we are going to continue with energy stored in a capacitor, and also we are going to start with one more new topic. What is the effect of dielectric in increasing the capacitance of a capacitor? So two topics we are going to cover. In between you are going to learn about the applications of capacitors also. So where the capacitors are used. Okay. So to start with, let us start with energy stored in a capacitor. So capacitor, as I said, it is a device used to store charges. So to store the charges, what has to be done? The charges has to be stored to a particular conductor, right? So what is the work done to store the charges in a particular plate is stored as energy. So let us move on to energy stored in a capacitor. Now when a battery is connected to a capacitor, when you connect a battery to a capacitor, automatically what happens? Now electrons, they start moving and they are transferred from one plate to the other plate. So what has been done here to transfer the electron? So what has been done? Work is done. So which does work to transfer the electron is the battery. So work is done by the battery to transfer the electron from one plate to another. So whatever work has been done, that work is stored as energy. Okay, ma? So let us take a small amount of charge dq. Okay, a small amount of dq charge is taken. Now what is the small work done? So you consider a small work done to transfer a small charge dq from one plate to another. And you are already very familiar with the formula for potential. Potential is nothing but work done per unit charge, or work done is nothing but V into Q. Hope you remember this formula, right? Now let this be capital Q. So work done is nothing but potential into the charge. Now I am going to use the formula here. For a small work done to transfer an electron from one plate to another, a small work is done which is taken as dW, that is equal to V into dQ. Okay, right? Now we know the value of V to be. What is the value of V to be? V is nothing but Q by C. So substitute. So dW equal to Q by C into dQ. Right? So when I integrate this, I will get the work done which is stored as electrostatic potential energy of the capacitor. So I am going to integrate this. Now W will be integral dW will be W with the limits 0 to Q. Okay ma, dW, and here when I substitute, sorry, not here, the limits will not be here, limits will be here. It is from 0 to Q here. It is Q by C into dQ. Now take this out. C will be out. Okay, because it is going to be a constant. I am going to integrate Q dQ. So what is Q dQ? Q dQ, when I integrate, it is Q square by 2. Right? So after integration, I will have the work done to be Q square by 2C, which is nothing but the potential energy or the electrostatic potential energy in the capacitor. Okay, now I'm going to just rearrange this formula, children. I know the value of Q is C into V, right? Yes or no? C is equal to Q by V. So what is Q? Q is C into V. So substitute here. Now it should be substituted as Q square. So Q square in the sense C square V square by 2 into C. Now 1 C gets cancelled. So here I have 1 by 2 CV square, which is the potential energy or electrostatic potential energy of a capacitor, which is given as half CV square. Okay. Now here we can see from the equation that the energy stored is directly proportional to what? Now look at the equation, the terms that are to the right side of the equation, you have capacitance and you have potential, right? So the energy, the electrostatic potential energy depends on, or it is directly proportional to the capacitance of the capacitor, and also it is proportional to the square of the voltage between the plates of the capacitor, because it is here V square. So it is proportional to the square of the voltage between the plates of the capacitor. So this is the equation for electrostatic potential energy. But I wanted to know, we say that energy is stored. I wanted to know where the energy is stored. Okay, so to find out where the energy is stored, I will take the equation for the capacitance. C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Now this is what we discussed yesterday. Capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. I will take this equation and also the equation for potential, which is equal to V is equal to E into D. Hope you are very familiar with this. Okay, ma? Now I'm going to substitute this in this equation. So, UE now will be, I'll write the formula first, half CV square, right? Now substitute half into, what is C? What is C? C is epsilon naught A by D into, what is V square? V square will be E square D square, right? Now here 1D gets cancelled. So I have the equation half into epsilon naught A into E into D. This is the equation. So here I can rearrange this equation as half into epsilon naught into E into A into D. Now what is this A into D, children? Of course A is area and small d is the distance between the plates. So what is area into distance? What is area into distance? Area into distance is nothing but what? It is nothing but you call it as volume. So what volume is this? Now this is the volume of the space between the capacitor plates. So what is AD? AD is the volume of the space between the capacitor plates. So where is the energy getting stored? The energy, now we are going to define what is energy density. Now energy density is the energy stored per volume. Now I bring this equation to the, now I'll just draw a line here and write here. So energy stored per unit volume. If AD going to take the value of 1 meter cube, then the formula will be half into epsilon naught E. So AD takes 1. So I have the equation for electrostatic potential energy to be half epsilon naught into E. So where is the electrical energy stored? So the electrical energy is stored in the electric field that is existing between the plates. Now look at this equation. Here you have the value of electric field to be there. So where this energy goes and gets stored, abdina, it is in the electric field. So the energy is stored in the electric field existing between the plates. Okay. Now the energy density also, here we talk about energy density. What is UE? As I told you, UE is nothing but energy density per unit volume of the space. So this energy density depends on what? Depends only on the electric field. Okay, look at the formula UE. Now this is a constant term, epsilon naught. Of course, it is permittivity of free space, which is 8.8 into 10 power minus 12. And which is the variable here is electric field. So this energy density, it purely depends only on the electric field. It neither depends on size of the plates nor nothing. It depends only on the electric field. Is it clear? So this is about energy stored in a capacitor. Now let us see some of the applications of capacitor. In your textbook they have discussed around 4 applications. The first application of a capacitor is they are used in flashlight in cameras. Now in digital cameras, when we take photo, you will have a flash to be appearing. Now that flash requires very high amount of energy. You cannot get that energy by using an ordinary battery. Of course, ordinary battery will be there in the camera, but apart from that ordinary battery, you have what is called as a flash battery. I mean flash capacitor. Now here is a capacitor which stores the charges which require the energy for the flash. Now when the button is clicked, you require a very high energy that is supplied by the capacitor which is there in the camera. So this capacitor is called as flash capacitor. Now this is the flash capacitor. Apart from the battery, you have this capacitor which is fixed, which produces instant energy. So that energy which is from DC, that will not give the energy required for flash. It is a light, no. So you need to have more energy that is given by the flash capacitor. So this is used in cameras. Then you would have seen people suffering at the last. Now immediate, suppose if somebody is struggling to breathe, they will go for this artificial, I mean they will just give some forces. Now what is that they are doing here is, now look at this diagram here. It is a defibrillator in the sense, suppose when a person is suffering from a cardiac arrest, heart attack, now they will they will not have breathing. So to give instantaneous breathing, they will go for this defibrillator. Again here also you will have a capacitor, because now it will give very instantaneous electric energy which is of very high value. Now that cannot be given by an ordinary DC source or anything. So it has to be given by a capacitor where the energy is given instantaneously. You would have seen these situations in many films where to just restart the function of heart, they will go for this type of machine which requires again a capacitor. Okay, now they will use a capacitor of 175 microfarad here, charged to a very high voltage of around 2000 volt. So that is given to the patient for the heart to revive again. So here also we go for a capacitor, right? Then it is also used in ignition system of automobile engines. To start the automobile engine or to eliminate sparking, we go for capacitors. Vehicles, you go for this capacitor which are used in the to start the vehicle ignition system. To start the vehicle, we go for capacitors. Then they are also used to reduce power fluctuations in the supply of power. At sometimes you will have fluctuations in the power which are reduced by using capacitors. So these are some of the applications of the capacitors. So without wasting much of time, let us go into the next topic, which is considered to be very very important, children, which is nothing but effect of dielectric. Effect of dielectric. So what happens if a dielectric is placed in between the plates of a capacitor? Now last class when we were deriving an expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, the dielectric was air, just air. But here we are going to have another material which is an insulator, which is going to be kept in between the plates of a capacitor. So in that case, what happens to the capacitance of a capacitor? That is what we are going to see here. Okay, so there are two diagrams given here, children. The first diagram is without a dielectric. The second diagram is with a dielectric in between the plates of the capacitor. So first we'll see the first diagram, explanation of the first diagram. Now here the two plates are connected to a battery. Now whenever it is connected to a battery, charges get stored on the plates. This you are very well aware. Okay, so the area of cross section of the plates is A, and the plates are separated by a distance D. Okay, now the charge of the capacitor is given as C naught. C naught equal to Q naught by V naught. Now this is in the absence of a dielectric. You just connect it to a battery and charge it. So when you charge it, the capacitance value is taken as C naught equal to Q naught by V naught, and also I have the formula for potential now as V naught equal to E naught into D. Now this is in the absence of a dielectric. Clear, children? Right? Now after you charge the capacitor, now the battery is disconnected. Look at the second diagram. There is no battery connected and you have a dielectric which is inserted in between the plates of the capacitor. Okay. Now when you introduce the dielectric, what happens to the electric field? Now before the dielectric is introduced, the electric field is considered to be E naught. Okay. After the dielectric is introduced, there will be immediately a reduction in the value of electric field, or the electric field will decrease. Now what is the value of electric field that is decreased is given by experimentally. The electric field that was reduced was found to be, or simply we will not have this E vector, E is equal to E naught by epsilon R. What is this epsilon R? Epsilon R is nothing but dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Hope you remember this we have learnt it in the first chapter. So this value of electric field was experimentally determined as E is equal to E naught by epsilon R. E is the reduced electric field after the dielectric is introduced. E naught is the electric field before the dielectric is introduced, and epsilon R is nothing but dielectric constant. Okay, so this was experimentally determined. We'll just know the formula alone. We will not bother about how the formula came. Just you know the formula, that's all. Okay, is it clear now? Now look at the value of epsilon R. Now epsilon R, I have already told you minimum value it is for air, which is 1. So definitely there is a medium. So definitely the value of epsilon R is found to be greater than 1. Yes or no? The dielectric constant, the minimum value of dielectric constant is for air, which is 1. Okay, but here you have a dielectric whose dielectric constant value will be definitely greater than 1. So now look at this equation. So if epsilon R is going to be greater than 1, what happens to the electric field here? Electric field E will be definitely lesser than E naught. Yes or no? That is why I said the electric field, when dielectric is introduced, the electric field will be reduced. It is due to this reason, because dielectric constant will be greater than, so you can say very well that E will be less than E naught. Here it will be greater than 1. Numerator will have lesser value. So definitely E will also have a lesser value. Are you able to understand this concept? This is a very important concept. Epsilon R greater than 1, so E less than E naught. Okay, so if E is going to be lesser than E naught, then what happens to the potential? We need to bother about the potential also. Potential is, what is the formula for potential? V is equal to E into D. So what happens to the potential? The potential also will be reduced. But what is something new here is, not new, when the battery is removed. Now the battery is charging the capacitor. After the battery is removed, what happens to the charges, children? The charges Q naught which is there, it remains as such. The value of the charges will remain the same. Q naught will remain constant. There will not be any change in the value of the charge once the battery is disconnected. Yes or no? So V is equal to ED. I will substitute the value of E to be E naught by epsilon R into D. So this will be the potential. So E naught by epsilon R into D. Now what is E naught into D? I can write this E naught into D as V naught by epsilon R. Again here what happens to the potential? Now like how we said electric field is reducing, similarly potential difference is also reducing. So if E is equal to E naught by epsilon R, then what about V is equal to? V is also equal to V naught by epsilon R. So again here epsilon R is greater than 1. So definitely V will be lesser than V naught. Yes or no? So as V decreases, now you know that when potential is going to be decreasing, what happens to the capacitor? What happens to the capacitance of a capacitor? The capacitance will increase. So whenever you have a dielectric, that dielectric will increase the capacitance of a capacitor. Now I am going to find out the value. What is the value of C now? C is equal to Q naught by V, which is equal to, so Q naught, let it be like this. Instead of V, I substitute V naught by epsilon R, right? So Q naught will be the same, divided by V naught will be here, and here epsilon R is in the denominator. Now that will come to the numerator. So here is the capacitance, right? C is equal to Q naught epsilon R by V naught. So what is Q naught by V naught? Q naught by V naught is nothing but C naught, right? C naught into epsilon R. So this is the capacitance when a dielectric is introduced. Now if epsilon R, as I told you, it is always greater than 1. So C naught is the original capacitance before the dielectric is placed. So definitely C will be definitely greater than C naught. Yes or no? Yes or no? C will be definitely greater than C naught, which proves that when a dielectric is added, definitely the capacitance will increase. Now, I can write this value of epsilon R as, how can I write epsilon R as? Now, C is equal to, now this is going to be a medium. So, I can write the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor in a medium as epsilon A by D. Yesterday itself I told you this. If it is air medium, C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. If it is going to be some other medium, it is epsilon. Now this can also be written as epsilon is nothing but epsilon naught epsilon R. So I can write this equation as epsilon naught epsilon R A by D. Now this equation is also correct. Okay, ma? So this is nothing but the capacitance of a capacitor when a dielectric is placed. Now let us calculate the energy. Now if a dielectric is added, what is the energy stored? We need to find out, right? Now like how we calculated for a capacitor, for the energy stored of a parallel plate capacitor, now what happens to the energy? Now energy in the absence of a dielectric medium, I know the value of energy to be U naught equal to half into Q naught square by C naught. This is the value we arrived at. U naught equal to half into Q naught square by C naught. Now after the dielectric is introduced, the Q naught is going to remain the same, because when the battery is going to be removed, there is no, as I told you, there is no change in the value of Q naught. So Q naught is going to be constant, but what is increased here? Capacitance is increased. So when capacitance is increased, definitely energy will be decreased. How that energy is going to be decreased, we are going to see. Again take the formula, U is equal to half into Q naught square by C. Now this is the potential energy, or the energy when the capacitance is kept in between, when the plates of the capacitor is kept between a dielectric. Okay. Now, sorry, when the dielectric is kept in between the plates. So here I am going to substitute now half into, let this Q naught square be there, and instead of C, I am going to substitute, what is C here? I have taken the value of C to be C naught into epsilon R. So I am going to substitute that here. So substitute epsilon R C naught. Now this is equal to, what is this value? What is this half Q naught square by epsilon R, which is U naught. So I can write this equation as U is equal to U naught by epsilon R. So this is the energy stored in a capacitor when a dielectric is introduced. Very, very, very important formula. Again, I have connected like how we saw electric field. First is electric field E is equal to E naught by epsilon R. Similarly, V is equal to V naught by epsilon R. Similarly, energy. Now, energy is also the energy that is stored in a capacitor in the absence of electric field is given as U naught. U is the energy stored in a capacitor when a dielectric is introduced between the plates, which is given as U. Now again I can write here epsilon R is definitely greater than 1. So what will be the value of U compared to U naught? Definitely it will be lesser than U naught, which means definitely there will be a decrease in the energy. Definitely the energy will decrease because when you insert a dielectric, the capacitor spends some of its energy in pulling the dielectric inside. So definitely work has been done. So definitely energy will be decreased. That is why we write U less than U naught. Is it clear? Is it clear, children? A very, very important derivation part. Again, I'll go back to this. Now, effect of dielectric C naught equal to Q naught by V naught. Now, this is the capacitance before the dielectric is introduced. And the potential will be V naught equal to E naught into D. Right? Now, whenever you introduce a dielectric, naturally the electric field will be reduced. So what is the value of the reduced electric field? Electric field is E is equal to E naught by epsilon R. So epsilon R is greater than 1. So definitely E will be lesser than E naught. Okay, so this is with respect to electric field. Electric field will be reduced when a dielectric is introduced. Then we'll go for potential. Potential value V is equal to E into D. Now VE is of course E naught by epsilon R. So substitute V is equal to E naught by epsilon R into D. Again it was found that the potential. Now here E naught D is nothing but V naught. So I substituted instead of E naught D as V naught. So here I have equation V is equal to V naught by epsilon R where V less than V naught. So electric field is reduced. Potential is also reduced. Then I found out the value of capacitance substituting C is equal to Q naught by V. For V I substituted V naught by epsilon R. So I have the capacitance formula to be C naught epsilon R. Here epsilon R is greater than 1. So I have C is equal to C naught epsilon R. So definitely the value of C, the capacitance was found to be increasing when the dielectric is added. Okay, so C greater than C naught. And I can write this equation as C is equal to epsilon A by D. I replaced epsilon as epsilon naught epsilon R A by D. Then I found out the energy. Okay, ma? So this is again a very, very important derivation. We discussed 3 topics here. One is energy of a capacitor or energy stored in a capacitor in the absence of a dielectric. Then we went to the applications of the capacitor where the capacitors were used. Where are the places where the capacitors play a very vital role. Then we came into the third part, what happens to the capacitance when you have a dielectric in between. So whether it increases the capacitance or whether it decreases the capacitance. So from the derivation part of it, we came to know that whenever a dielectric is introduced in between the plates of a capacitor, the capacitance increases. And we also proved that the capacitance increases when a dielectric is added, and also the energy is decreasing when you have a dielectric, because why the energy is decreasing is some amount of work is done to bring the dielectric in between the plates of the capacitor. So definitely energy was found to be decreasing. So these are some of the concepts which we discussed. Now go through the derivation part and you write the derivation part and post it in the group by evening. So this is your homework for today, children. Okay, so see you tomorrow with the next topic.